Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Get Good. I am Time Munster, joined here by Rain today, and we have got, let me double check my notes here, the Get Good Monthly Tournament Showcase. I had to make sure 100%. We have got M Phoenix, or ignore the IVI, that is a fancy way of spelling it, against Team Purple Nova. What have you got to comment on today, Rain?
Well, I'm excited to see this one. So this is going to be essentially, like you said, Ty, a show match here. So we're kind of ramping things up at Get Good, trying to get some monthly tournaments together. But we're going to have this showcase here for the month of June. And yeah, Militia Phoenix versus Team Purple Nova. So this is going to be just a little taste of what's to come in the months ahead.
Right, and this tournament bracket, the way that it's going to be working, or not bracket, but this match here that we've got going on, the way that it works is, this is the way that they do it, I find it very interesting. I really like the system. It's a 4-ban system, unlike what you see in a lot of Pro Overwatch, which is a 2-ban system. It's 1 ban for the team that doesn't pick the first map, right? And then the other team will ban 2, then the first team will ban another hero. It's a lot better, in my opinion. You get a lot more interesting bans, you got a lot more interesting compositions that you get to go through. You get a lot more targeted sort of compositional bans, in my opinion, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to add a little bit of chaos as well because teams will not be able to ban out the same hero that they've banned in a previous map. And this being a best of 7, we have the potential to cover quite a few maps here. So we'll see by the end what bans are going to be coming out from both teams. As we will take a look at this roster here for Militia Phoenix to get started. So we have Vernal and Haley on those DPS roles, Arctic on the tank, and then we have Surfleash and End on the support. And I will note that there are a couple of subs as well that could have the potential to be subbed in throughout this series.
Right. In particular for this team, I do believe, I got to check the notes to be 100% sure, but this composition that you see here, what you see the players have kind of locked in for their preferred heroes, this has been what has been, the kind of preferred meta, it seems, for a lot of NA teams. I've seen a lot of, like, Face It Masters and a little bit of OWCS. This is what the West is really determined to be the meta. It's been Break Bap. You've seen a lot of Lucio taking the back seat. Arisa's been the #1 tank a lot of the time with, Winston, D.Va, and Hazard kind of bringing up the rear. Tracer and Sojourn have been kind of the primary DPS. Freya's taken a backseat as well. This has been kind of the meta recently, it feels, Rain.
Yeah, I totally agree. A lot of shifts kind of in the meta, and with this hero ban system in place, we'll have to see what compositions they end up on. We will take a look over at this roster for Team Purple Nova. So Clover and Kyle, the DPS players. Primal on that tank. Ray and Flygon going to be rounding out this support line, and these are the 5 signed players here for Team Purple Nova. So we're going to be seeing this squad all evening long.
Right, no substitutions, no players in the back pocket for this roster, unlike you did mention, right, on the other side of things, there are subs. It's not just a couple subs, there are 3 substitute players in the back pocket, 1 per role, so there's a lot of flexibility over there for the other team, right? We could see a lot of substitutions throughout the series, depending on maps, right? That is obviously usually why you see substitutions, right? Different compositions, different styles, and starting off here on Oasis, that is going to be, we're going to be seeing probably mostly the Orisa. We might see, the previously mentioned Hazard or D.Va being more of a punish dive tank, Winston being more of a, space control dive tank. I'm going to be interested to see how these teams opt to play these dive tanks. And starting on City Center, I want to see if they're going to play these dive tanks at all.
Yeah, exactly. And so we do have those hero bans in as well. So the 4 bans
Oh,
that are
right,
going to be
yeah.
coming in for Oasis, we have Winston banned out by Phoenix. We have Kiriko banned out by Phoenix. And then on Purple Nova, they've gone ahead and banned out the Hazard and the Sojourn. So, I mean, Ty, as we just load into City Center here, no real surprise to me that we are going to be seeing the Orisa picked for both sides.
Yeah, a little bit of a brain fart there for me. Completely forgot about the whole bans thing I praised earlier. D.Va is kind of the only dive tank left if you want to opt in for that style, but it seems as though these teams are going to opt for this sort of Orisa meta style. And the only character in that meta composition, quote unquote, that's been taken away is that Sojourn, right? Mm-hmm. But Cassidy is still very prevalent in the composition. It seems as though Freya is going to be the option for M Phoenix. And on the other side of things, May is not a character you see very often right now. That is interesting.
Yeah, I like the Freya pick here from Phoenix, basically filling that same position as the Sojourners. Both teams are going to be meeting over on this jump pad side.
Big damage here on a Kyle early, shoved into the corner. Primal able to find the early pick, and Arctic as well. The tanks are just going at it. Massive damage from both sides there. Sir Fleesh is gone. No supports for M Phoenix means that they're just not going to have the sustain, though, and Primal's going to be able to find kill after kill, clean up, and the first cap seems to be decided pretty early here.
Yep, Team Purple Nova is going to get the percentage building here. Looking like Phoenix are going to get a full regroup. Vernal did not end up getting staggered out, so managed to get out with his life there. And with this composition that Phoenix are running, you're really going to have to dislodge Team Purple Nova from this high ground. You'd love to be able to get Vernal set up there on this Freya, but as soon as you kind of push onto the point, if you're Phoenix, you're going to have to deal with this Mei from Kyle, which has really strong staying power in these control point maps.
Great staying power, but I do like the Freya into the Mei at the same time, though. I think that the vertical mobility and the sheer damage she can pump out is actually quite good into the Mei, even though, you know, she can't get the 2-tap onto Mei like she might like, but Haley, she's going to be able to find the kill onto Kyle instead, and that's going to be a good early advantage for M Phoenix early. And Arctic, another kill, Flygon is gone, and this should be an advantage that they should not squander, and they will continue to press that advantage. Haley, another kill for her, and they will push on forward. Ray gone, one player remains, and it's just clean up now.
Yeah, nice even 50% there for Team Purple Nova. Not too bad for your first flip of Oasis City Center. And looking at M Phoenix, I mean, that was a great first push in. You find the pick onto Kyle, and then you continue through. You don't lose anybody, crucially, as well. And now we're going to have that Bola from Vernal ready to go. Arctic nearly has this Terra Surge as well, a very common combo to see coming out. And Team Purple Nova, I mean, this composition that they're playing, you're going to be playing quite stacked here, so could be a really big opportunity for Arctic to find a massive Terra Surge as everybody's rotating around, looking to take this high ground once again.
Yeah, but you can kind of just rotate away from this one if you're M Phoenix, but I mean, that's a very aggressive bash from Flygon. I'm surprised that's not punished. Somehow End is the break who's going to die after that interaction. Ray is going to be caught out. Vernal's able to find that kill thanks to the take aim shots, but no more kills are going to come through for Phoenix. They're going to have to give up a cap pretty quick. Purple Nova just walk on in.
Yeah, and it looks like Purple Nova, there we go. You find that last kill onto Vernal there and bringing the percentage up to 50% for M Phoenix, but Team Purple Nova back in the point, in the control of this point, and you didn't use any ultimates there. I mean, Phoenix didn't use any either, so we're coming into this next fight. It's going to be quite explosive here. A little wall there from Kyle just to buy some time, rotate up to this high ground, and we see Purple Nova consistently resetting up here over and over, but now they see where Phoenix is coming, and they want to meet them because they're going to have this Blizzard ready to go.
Yeah, the only ultimate that's been used so far is a Pulse Bomb. Make that a Dragon Blade, make that a Rally, make that a Terra Surge, make that everything in the kitchen sink while you're at it. It's only been 3 kills, more ults than eliminations so far, and they're going to start to push on forward here, Team Purple Nova. But Flygon's dropping real low, and Ray needs a peel, but who's going to peel for Ray? As they drop below, the shield health can acquire more healing. Haley gets the kill. She's on the ward path, and she's going to chase on forward, but End has the rally, and they want to chase even further beyond 91%. It seems the Team Purple Nova has the push that they need, or doesn't have the push that they can handle. Arctic eats up the Blizzard. Hello? Primal's got some kills. They do have the push that they need, and the point at 97 means that they might just be able to win this point.
Well, just a beautiful disengage from Team Purple Nova there. I mean, Flygon manages to get out without dying, and then exactly like you said, you push back in, the Blizzard gets eaten, but in the end, it really doesn't even matter. So Team Purple Nova back on the fight, and Phoenix kind of fighting for their lives here, and they're going to have to look to find a touch.
It will have to be Haley, but she's booped away. She will get another touch. The Orbital Ray for Ray. That one was held on to the waning moments, and Sir Fleesh will be able to match. A bash brings Haley down to a sliver of HP. She'll be able to escape. The point still held. The Sombro comes back from Vernal looking for an assassination, but Arctic has found the kill first. Kyle, somehow the Orisa will find the kill in Primal. It's just been the tanks at the forefront of the elimination. Sir Fleesh has found the torpedoes to find another kill, and Haley, she finds the pulse pistols to take down Clover, and Ray is solo. The cap has come through, and somehow a staggered touch has found Phoenix another fight win.
Yeah, crucial touch there from Haley. She did get booped away, but manages to kind of get back into the fight as Phoenix now. We're at last fight territory tie as we move into this final one. We have the Pulse Bomb ready to go from Haley. A lot of swaps there from Phoenix, so you're not going to have any other ultimates online. And Team Purple, I mean, you pretty much threw everything at the wall the last time because you thought you were going to win that. But if you can build up to this rally, that might be able to give you an advantage as you look to push onto this point.
That's a huge pick on to end. This Pulse Bomb has to hit Flygon. It's instead going to hit Kyle, and now the rally is online, and now it's danger. You have no supports. Arctic can get as many kills as you want, but it doesn't matter. There's a rally on point. Vernal is gone, and nobody can stand up to the amount of pressure that is currently being mounted on point. Haley can try, but she's gone. Flygon finds that kill, and the Lucio touch is here for end. But in Surf Leash, sure, the Juno is here, but how much can a Juno touch for? Maybe a couple of seconds, maybe not even one. The Dragon Blade is going to be able to help cut down these staggers, if there even is any, and the first 99 to 100 goes to Team Purple Nova.
Oh, wow. Okay, Ty, we got a match on our hands here. I mean, this has been back and forth so much, and Team Purple Nova just kind of sneaking that out. You had the rally ready to go, and like you said, that Pulse Bomb from Haley, it really needed to find Flygon. You needed to get the Brig out of the fight so that the rally wasn't going to take over, but yeah, you find that kill onto Clover, and Flygon pops the rally, gets a nice little 3K, keeping his team alive all the while. So beautiful stuff there from Team Purple Nova, but Phoenix, I mean, they are nothing to laugh at. They've definitely got a good grasp of this Orisa composition, as it looks like we head into Gardens. They're going to go ahead and stick on these Orisas for both teams. A little bit of a swap coming out here from Kyle. Going to move over onto the Pharah. We do tend to see the Pharah a little bit more here. Some nice cover for the Pharah to work around, just get some poke damage out, as we are going to have Vernal moving back over onto this Freya as well. We had seen them swap over kind of to the Sombra for a touch point, but now back on this composition for Phoenix.
I'm a big, vocal fan of the Pharah ever since she got reworked. Like, I just love the Pharah rework on a subjective level and on a meta-wise level. I think that every opportunity... Well, I don't like it this time. Vernal takes it out of the sky and is traded out, so Clover isn't going to let the team down in vain. And despite the fact that Kyle did die instantly, Team Purple Nova seems to be handling that without too much remorse.
Yeah, not bad from the team to kind of stabilize through that. The Pharah can be a really big source of damage there, but, you know, you capitalize on kind of the aggressive push there for Phoenix. They think that once you've taken that Pharah out, you can push forward, get a little bit out of position there, and Team Purple Nova is responding to that really well. And now, once again, I mean, this Team Purple Nova, they love their high ground set up here comfortably once again, so you know that Phoenix is going to have to push onto this high ground, try to force somebody out of here, because Kyle's just set up here, can do a lot of damage for free.
Yeah, those 120 damage rockets, you think Venture does a lot of damage? Pharah does 50% more. This character hurts, and Primal and Clover allowed to, follow up on that damage will find kills pretty easy. And that's another easy cleanup.
Yeah, not too bad there. Primal doing a lot of really good work on this on this Orisa. I see the Primal and I'm thinking of Winston, but doing a great job of holding this high ground and following up on this damage that Kyle's putting through. Now, Phoenix, all right, what are you going to do? You got to take some angles against this team. We're kind of just pushing through this small corridor, but that's exactly where Kyle is kind of finding all of this damage here. You nearly built up to this barrage. Flygon's going to have the rally as well, so you're way ahead kind of in the support ultimates for Purple Nova, and that's going to mean it's just that much harder to try and push into this and get a fight win if you're Phoenix.
Haley's found the backline, though, and with that bash used early by Kyle, Arctic finds the chip damage to finish off Kyle as well back here. Flygon does find one. The Pulse Bomb ends the rally early. This is a 2v3, kind of winnable here for Phoenix, but not especially. It'll have to be an insane play, but Haley is set up for one. The Terra Surge is available, and the Fortify does give a little bit of bonus health, but they opt to not go for anything too risky. They're going to back off and play it safe.
Yeah, nice job from Haley taking out the back line there for Purple Nova, and now you've waited just long enough for the reinforcements to get here from Phoenix, and that's going to allow you to get the point flip over, but 91% here for Purple Nova. I mean, you need to win one more fight to take this.
Yeah, that barrage is going to set this fight up to be that fight. The tank is the most important character in the map, and with that gone, I mean, even with that kill from Haley, they might be able to walk on through. It's a 2v3, but again, tank and support, that is so impactful. Vernal is not going to be able to survive the overwhelming pressure from Primal, and Haley has to do another heroic. A spear forces the recall, and they are gone, but Haley still fights. Haley still stands, and Arctic is on their way back. Another cap, 92%, make it 93. Arctic takes the spear. The Terra Surge might need to be invested from either team here.
Oh my gosh, I mean, straight for the back line. Primal doesn't quite find the kills, but you do force out the rally, and there you do enough damage to find that kill on to the Brigitte.
Point!
Oh no.
Oh. Purple Nova, they're gonna win the map off of that as well. It wouldn't be. Phoenix, they're like chasing kills. They're looking for opportunity to clutch. They're playing a little bit too hard to clutch, and Purple Phoenix... Or Purple Nova, rather, they are able to just not even capitalize. It just feels like they're drawing Phoenix away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel it's looking like once Purple Nova kind of gets set up on these points, they have a really good understanding of the positioning that they need to be in to really put up a very, very solid defense. And so solid that it feels like sometimes Phoenix is just not finding kind of the opening that they need to push in. And that goes to show how important high ground control can be in Overwatch. Even when you're not necessarily playing compositions that are really relying on that kind of drop down, like a dive composition. We didn't see any Winstons here. We didn't see any divas here. And still, you saw the control of the high ground just being so important there. So not too bad from Phoenix. It feels like, you know, when you find kind of an opening with these ultimates, especially from kind of your DPS, you're able to break through it. But you really need to be winning out in these kind of dry fights if you want to take on Purple Nova, it seems.
Right. And one of the things about high ground that is so often unspoken is it's not just important to have high ground, but to take it away, to not let them have high ground. And one hero that's so important against is specifically Pharah, because having high ground against Pharah just puts you on the level that she's so often at. The rework makes it less often that she's at that level, but it's so important to prevent her from shooting down at you and keeping you at the level to where you can match a Pharah. Taking that away from her, it makes it much more difficult for her to take an advantage, and she can't play a neutral fight or a disadvantage fight very well at all. But when she has an advantage fight, even if she's not getting final blows, even if you don't see her in the kill feed, I promise you, those 120 damage rockets are still finding value.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when the rest of your team is so aware of it, right? Seeing kind of the follow up on that damage from the Pharah, very, very important. And okay, so you know, Team Purple Nova up 1 here, but this means that Phoenix is now going to have the opportunity to pick a map. And now you have a little bit of a better idea of what Purple Nova is going to roll out on. You know, you can also tailor your bans a little bit more. That first state map, like if teams aren't familiar with each other, you're kind of just putting out bans that you think are going to fit the map type specifically. But now you have a taste of what compositions to expect, so you can kind of work around those as well.
Right, and you know that Purple Nova, they're going to get kooky. They're going to get a little bit weird. They played Pharah. Like, Pharah is by no means a suboptimal pick. Pharah by no means is bad, but she is absolutely kooky. She's absolutely a little bit weird. She's not the most optimal hero. Producers told us that we have to guess where we're going.
So I do know that the way that this works is that the team can pick any map and any mode. And I mean, okay, I'm feeling I'm
Paris.
feeling I'm feeling Kings Row. I'm feeling Kings Row.
It's not
it's
Kings
classic. Ooh.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Free me from my eternal turmoil. Let me out. Let me out. Can I tell a story? Can I tell a story real quick?
Let's hear it.
So I was a collegiate player for a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I joined, we were like not the best, right? We weren't exactly a competitor. There was like a plat to diamond team, right? I joined as by far the highest ranked player. And one of the players on the team, who was the existing captain, he would always go Kings Row. Even though we would always lose. We would always scrim it. We would always play it in our matches. So we would always go Kings Row. And I always try to convince him, look, man, we play better on dive. We shouldn't go Kings Row here. And he's like, no, we should go Kings Row. And we would always lose. Finally, it's playoffs. We roll map 1. We roll map 2. We lose map 3 by a hair. The only game mode that hasn't been picked yet. By the way, we win map 1 on dive. We win map 2 on dive. We lose map 3 barely on a ROM mirror. Map 4, hybrid has not been selected. I look at him. He looks at me. I look at him. He looks at me. Enter KINGS space ROW. We lose the series.
Oh, yep. Just because it's the fan favorite. It doesn't mean that it's always the map to pick. And this is a lesson for everybody that's watching, right? Kings Row is fun, but sometimes it's not the map. But hey, Phoenix are feeling that this is the map, and where they were just running the Orisa, maybe you can kind of take that Orisa mirror. I think that it was pretty close. It really was just kind of small changes that happened that gave Purple Nova the edge there. But I mean, Ty, there's still hero bans to come here, so this could make a huge difference on Kings Row, where Kings Row is not going to have as much flexibility in the compositions that we see compared to Oasis.
Right. I mean, I feel like there's, depending on the state of the game, I feel like there's two very specific styles that are, viable on Kings Row. We've seen back in like 2023 and even sometimes late 2024, they're interesting bans. I hope you keep a mental note of that because I want to finish my point. We saw for a while there was like a double flex Winston style that was very prevalent on Kings, and then for a lot of it, it's been Brawl. But these bans are very interesting. Orisa, Genji, Bap, and what was the one I'm missing?
Cassidy.
Cassidy, thank you. This doesn't really rule out any individual compositional style, but it feels a lot more targeted to individual players.
I'm thinking that as well. Yeah, this Orisa ban being brought out, the Genji ban as well, both heroes that we saw on Oasis. So you actually kind of alluded to this in your story. Ramatra, definitely an option here. Kings Row, you're still probably going to see a rush kind of a composition. Lucio is back into the mix. I guess Lucio wasn't actually banned. So Lucio and Juno, both options to kind of be helping with this rush style. I think producer is maybe hoping for a Reinhardt mirror. I don't know if we're gonna see that time, but it technically could be played.
We're not gonna see it. Oh, I would love it. Oh, I absolutely adore Reinhardt. Don't get me wrong.
One thing that I think we could potentially see on Kings that is a little bit kooky, especially on first point, is where we have the opportunity to maybe see some different compositions. That Pharah could potentially be brought out again here. You end up probably having to swap that off once you go to second and third point, but you have this statue and there's a whole lot of high ground kind of around the point that you can work with as well. Typically, we would only see it kind of on the attacking side so that you could go back and swap if needed, but if Purple Nova are looking to play something a little, out of the box, I think that they could still bring that to Kings Row.
Right, for sure. I mean, like Pharah is something that we've seen a lot in the past on Kings Row, like in Overwatch history. It's not the best thing on Kings Row, but given the fact that we did just see it, this is interesting that we're seeing hovered for Purple Nova. Obviously, it's the spawn room of the attacking team, so don't necessarily put too much stock in it. But this is something possible. For Purple Nova is like a heavy rush comp, sort of like the quote-unquote zombie comp style that was popularized back in, I think, 2021, that has still lived on in people's hearts to a certain extent, the Reaper rush style, seen sometimes with a Sombra, sometimes with a Mei, but generally walk at bad guys, shoot bad guys, make them go bye-bye. A lot more of a traditional sort of brawl style currently held by M Phoenix with a Ramatra, Freya, Brig, Juno. I do like this composition, right? The Rom, Brig, Juno is something that we have seen a lot in the past. The Freya Tracer is sort of a modern development of that.
Yeah, and all right, Team Purple Nova on the attacking are now locking in this composition. Well, it's the Reaper Rush that you alluded to, Ty. Kyle is going to go over onto the Mei as well, a popular pick on Kings Row for kind of controlling these angles. Really nice utility in the Mei wall, and you're on that Lucio Kiriko here, so it is going to be all in for Team Purple Nova, but gotta be careful because both those supports for Phoenix set up very comfortably on the high ground.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Arctic is all alone. This block will be able to block up a whole lot of this damage and just distract for long enough, but Flagon will eventually find that kill. Some nice pressure will allow Vernal to find a kill themselves, but one trade isn't going to be good enough. Two might just be able to, though, and make that a third, and yeah, they'll eventually pick apart this composition.
Hey, one take there on the point for Team Purple Nova. That's not too bad, but now you're kind of realizing what this comp is that Phoenix is playing with the Tracer, with the Freya, and then the supports kind of set up on the high ground. They are going to have all of the angles on this May Reaper comp, so you're not really going to be able to just walk your way onto point again, as we are going to see Clover swap over onto the Freya here. So now you're going to have somebody that's going to be able to put a little bit more pressure onto the high ground for the defending side, but you're still on this May composition. So if you're Team Purple Nova, you're still essentially looking to kind of force a fight on point, bring these people down to the low ground so that you can fall victim to this May.
And I do like the May style. I think that it's an interesting battle, May versus Tracer, in this particular circumstance. It does allow you to bully Arctic a little bit, and I think that if that's your playstyle, and also May hurts at range. Her poke is so good, and we're seeing that with Kyle just doming across the map, and that's the entry pick that they need, and it allows them to clean up here.
Yep, and that's going to be 2 ticks, and the third one picked up there by Purple Nova. Really nice adjustment, moving Clover over onto that Freya, as Phoenix do get some close spawns here, so there is a potential to maybe hold towards this choke point, but a couple of the supports actually getting that long spawn, so you're going to have to be really careful here if you're Phoenix and you want to take a fight, because Purple Nova have an opportunity to really stagger you out here.
Yeah, I'm a bit conflicted by Vernal switching off the Freya as well here. I don't know. I think you could have stayed on it. No, wait, Primal just... Okay, well, Primal 10.
Oh, no.
It's unfortunate. It does happen sometimes, right?
Yeah, and so this is good for Phoenix, because now you're going to be able to hold this choke point, and you really didn't want to kind of give up all that free space. This is a great spot to hold, and you have this Annihilation, you have the Pulse Bomb ready to go, but Ray, Kitsune Rush, I mean, she's looking to just walk her team right through that choke.
They will be able to back off this a little bit, kite some space. This will get a little bit of payload progress, so you're not too upset about this interaction for Team Purple Nova. The bullet shot, but Arctic has found one with the Annihilation, and Primal will have one to rebuttal with if necessary, but with Flygon dying, we're having a little bit of an issue here on our end, I think. And yeah, that's just going to be a reset.
Ooh, okay, and a little bit of cart progress gained there, but probably not as much as Purple Nova were really hoping for with that level of ult investment. Now, you still have this beat and the Primal to work with, and hey, I mean, Phoenix used a lot of ults there too. You have the Rally on the side of End. Vernal is going to be able to build up to this this overclock as well, but Rally coming out, beat in response.
Very early beat in. End does die, but I'm not sure if you really needed to pop the beat directly as a response. The Annihilation will assist in walking up. I'm not sure. I think that might have been an over ult there for Purple Nova. They win the fight, and they might be able to get the second point off this. They probably should, but there's a chance that Phoenix could walk back into this.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Haley's still kind of lurking behind, so Phoenix is going to have somebody that can at least put a little bit of a contest on. And Purple Nova, I mean, you need to have 3 people on this payload right now. The one person is just not going to move fast enough, and it pretty much guarantees that Phoenix is going to be able to get another fight before this is capped.
Especially with the Tracer, like, no Tracer, maybe, but with the Tracer, and look at this, Arctic's already found one, Kyle is gone, Flygon's just out of position, standing there like a sitting duck. You needed 3 people on cart, you are so right.
Oh, yeah, team kill coming through from Phoenix. A beautiful re-engagement there. Haley doing a great job of getting that touch just so Vernal can get in, had that overclock ready to go, really finding the value with it as well, and now Phoenix, they're set up in a pretty aggressive spot here. Haley kind of lurking on this high ground is going to be able to build up to a pulse bomb fairly soon. And I mean, that's going to be like the closest ultimate kind of on the board here. We will see that Kitsune Rush available for Ray very shortly. Honestly, Purple Nova might want to just like play to build up this Kitsune Rush. That could really be what locks in this second point for you.
I don't know how Vernal found that kill. I mean, I don't even think they were at an angle. I thought the wall was up. I thought that was undoable. Ray dead. Vernal is just kill after kill, headshot after headshot. Is there anybody that they can't kill at this point?
I mean, yeah, you find the Lucio and the Kiriko, the 2, like, most mobility on the side of Purple Nova, and you've taken them out of the fight, and that fight allowed Phoenix to build up this pulp bomb and build up to this Annihilation as well. Now, Flygon is not going to have a beat in response to it. Kyle is going to need to build up this Blizzard, because that could be the counter that you really need to sustain through this Annihilation, and Ray, she's going to have that Kitsune Rush ready to go, and she's going to go ahead and pull that out now.
There was no ultimates other than the Kitsune Rush to find the first opening kill. Vernal still finds another kill, by the way. Primal does die, so if you can stall this fight out here for Phoenix, there is a chance to come in for a recontest. The Kitsune Rush isn't going to last forever after all, so Fleesh dying and Infernal does die. The stalling this fight out now seems a little bit hopeless, but Haley is doing her best.
Yeah, gonna go back, try to get this mega health pack. Probably not gonna go for another re-engage.
Well,
Okay, yeah, we'll get punished for it. But hey, I mean, Arctic is on the point now.
Well, okay. I respect it.
we didn't pop the Annihilation if you're Phoenix, so at least you have that to hold on to. And you got that Blizzard out from Kyle, so Purple Nova definitely had to kind of invest there, or felt like they had to invest in Ultimate to secure this second point. Moving into third point, a lot of time burned off this clock. You're only a minute and a half in third point. You can get really stuck here, especially where Phoenix is looking like they have a lot of ultimates ready to go, but Purple Nova have some of their own. It's just a matter of finding the opening.
If you're able to survive this overclock, though, right, I don't think you're sweating too much. Clover hasn't been able to find too much of an angle. Really, the main target would be Haley, but Haley is recalled immediately out of dodge, and with this orbital ray, another overclock will be soon on the way, I'm sure. The beat from Flygon soon to dissipate. Look at how deep Flygon is. Kyle finds the first kill of the fight. End is gone, and I mean, Kyle with another. Somehow the Annihilation will result in another kill, and Kyle's just good for 3. The May.
Oh my gosh, the May is doing so much work here, and yeah, so at Purple Nova, you got 3 on the card. It's all the stall here, but you've got the rally from Phoenix to make it happen.
I mean, Arctic has to play for the defense. I don't know if going in guns a-blazing punchy is the move here. Flygon got the boop. Doesn't seem as though it got anybody off the map. Some damage here onto Haley. The Pulse Bomb, it's good, but it's onto a Ramatra who can just pop the Nemi. 25 seconds left. I thought that looked holdable, but Phoenix, they don't quite clutch it up.
Not quite, yeah, not finding the stall that they really needed on third point. It didn't feel like really any of those fights kind of went in their way the whole time. Nova's just moving that payload forward. Yeah, Flygon, I don't know if Flygon didn't die kind of at that second corner there, pretty deep in the backline, but just had the moves to get out alive, and that's what really worked here for Purple Nova, is that everybody did a good job of just staying alive, and kind of when you get to the end of this map, that's what you really need. You need 5 people to take a clean fight, because the spawn advantage is in the favor of Phoenix, but as long as you can, you know, keep your own team healthy, ready to go, and you slide that payload into third, so not too bad. 25 seconds, I mean, yeah, you would have loved the overtime, but Phoenix will have to be happy with that, but it does set also a very, very hard win condition here. Phoenix need to complete King's Row.
Yeah, under a minute though, it's doable, right? Getting it under a minute it's an achievement in and of itself. At the end of the day, you don't have to worry about completing the map in outside of overtime yourself, because you will get a second chance.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, Flygon, Brig Kiriko. This is weird. Like, interesting weird. I like it. I've always been a bit of a proponent for the Brig Kiriko, because it means neither of your sports have to care about each other at all. They can both just be entirely self-sufficient. But it's weird.
Yeah, oh, Haley looking for an opening pick. Did not see anybody standing around that statue. Very smart from Purple Nova not to peek that in. I mean, now you have Kyle on this defensive May, which can play a whole lot different and cause a whole lot more trouble for Phoenix as they try to kind of push into this point. But I already like what Phoenix are doing. You're taking some angles here, sending Vernal up to this high ground with the Freya.
Yeah, and Ray ends up going to the Juno. I think I might be going senile or something. But yeah, Vernal does go up to this high ground, is getting poked out a lot of pressure going onto them, so they can't quite manage to hold on to this space. It's quite difficult, especially with Clover having a rail. You really have to respect the Sojourn in that positions. Freya just doesn't have the survivability as a 225 HP hero in Exhibit A of such a thing.
Oh yeah, Vernal getting deleted. I mean, that is the knock on the door for Phoenix to start walking out, as it looks like Arctic will be able to get out alive, so no stagger kill onto the tank there. That is kind of the best thing you can hope for if you're Phoenix, but you're going to need to kind of try to reset this. I still think that you need to kind of take that high ground, but you got to send somebody with Vernal, who has now moved onto the Sojourn here, because Clover's set up there with Flygon and Ray. Oh, they're just going to be able to put so much damage onto this point.
They're going to be able to get some toes tapping on point, and Kyle's May has been... It's been good, but it's immediately dead as I say something, so I'm starting to think I might be cursed by a witch somewhere. Arctic is able to find a couple of kills in this fight, and it's really only tanks fighting some final blows in this one. They're able to find some kills. Haley, thank you for ending that streak, and the cap has begun here for M Phoenix.
Yeah, and I don't expect that Purple Nova is going to go in for a recontest here. Even if you all get these good spawns, this next choke point, the archway, really great for May. But, I mean, heads-up play from Arctic, already pushing forward. There's the wall. Good job from Phoenix to kind of break that so that their tank doesn't get caught out of position.
Yeah, it's good to force that resource early. Maywall is one of those resources where its primary use is just to force out the resource a lot of the time. So getting it out of the way early without having to invest a major cooldown like Nemesis Form, like Speed Ring, it's a big boon.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, okay, wall comes through, but a little bit mistimed there, and that's going to open things here for Phoenix to push forward. You've got this orbital ray ready to help you.
The Blizzard is actually pretty good here, but Kyle's the one somehow ends up dying in the middle of it, and this is going to be M Phoenix pushing forward with this Arctic. Tries to hold the front line, but the pressure is so big with this orbital ray. They're going to try to find a clutch here. Vernal dropped super low during it, and the annihilation from Arctic as they bounce back from that. It's going to be Haley who drops first, though. Ray with the torpedoes. That's the first kill, and now it's a double ult on the other side of things. It's a double punch. It's going to be able to reverse this fight entirely 180. It's a 4 ultimate engage, but ultimately it's what's necessary to stop the cart.
Oh my goodness, yeah, a lot of ults popping there, but I mean, Clover was the only one from Purple Nova really lighting up the kill feed. Nice little 4K there for the Sojourn, and now, well, you have the Rally to try and defend here versus a Rally and an Overclock. If Vernal can kind of get set up on a bit of an angle here, you should be able to get some big value from this Overclock, but it's all about kind of forcing out those cooldowns first. You're gonna have the Nemesis Form, and then you also have the Shield and the Maywall. There's lots of kind of just cooldowns that can negate some of this value from the Sojourn, so you'd love to kind of use that mid-fight, get everybody's cooldowns out, and then you can go in and burst them down.
This early wall, they're probably going to be looking to engage off that one. Haley managed to build up a pretty quick pulse bomb. Didn't seem to land onto too much. Clover managed to get off to an off angle. The Rally is going to help slow down that Overclock, as previously mentioned. Enda has the Rally, but they're saving it towards the later end of this other Rally. But this is a little bit too late. Arctic drops, and End is out of position. Now Haley finds Flygon, but that one kill isn't going to amount to enough. And this is looking like Team Purple Nova will win yet another fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Rally, I mean, it's great for kind of sustaining through maybe an engage, but once everybody's kind of just up in your face, especially with this Ramatra, you can just punch through that Brigida shield and just negate all of it altogether. So shutting that down, Haley lurking here, ready to go in with her team. Now, this is going to be potentially the first dry fight. Ray is going to be able to build up to this orbital Ray quickly. If Phoenix can kind of take a fight, find Ray out first here, that would probably be their best option to try and push this point forward just a little bit more to go for that second checkpoint.
Haley's been having a lot of value, but I'm not sure if it's amounted to enough to outmatch the May. Kyle has found this Blizzard to come online quite quick, all things considered, and Arctic is going to implode at, you know, light speed, pretty much. I don't think it could get much faster than that, and the cleanup doesn't get much easier than it could here.
Yeah, that's a really good job from Kyle. I mean, that you're gonna get kind of picked on if you're Arctic on this Ramatra. The May can just really shut down any way of the Ramatra to kind of push forward and take space. You wall off the heals, and then you just use the Blizzard on them as well. Now, this doesn't mean that you're not going to have this Blizzard ready for Arctic's Annihilation, which is going to be coming on fairly shortly. We did see Primal pop his Annihilation kind of in response, both Ramatras just dueling each other. So that's probably what we're going to see. But right now, Purple Nova do have the advantage. So Surfleash is going to pop this orbital and try to find a pick here for Phoenix.
This is going to be a pretty quick re-engage, though. The cart is starting to round this corner, so Ray is going to pop the Ray on the other side. You know, pretty apt naming now that you think about it. And Arctic is going to pop the Annihilation pretty soon, I expect, and here it is. But, wow, that HP bar goes down fast, doesn't it? Clover is going to find the final blow on that one. And, Rain, I have to ask you, do you think that... I think that Surfleash and N should consider switching to a Lucio comp to better handle... Or should have considered switching to a Lucio comp to better handle Kyle.
Yeah, have a little bit more kind of mobility. The consistent speed from the Lucio can allow for like rotations around these May cooldowns. But I mean, overtime getting close here. Phoenix need to send somebody to touch, but you're gonna have to deal with this overclock from Clover coming online.
Clock it's the main factor here, but Clover's got one as well. This one's gonna find 2 kills, and well, Bertle is gone. Kyle finds a kill. Arctic is left standing and left on the floor just as fast as I can say the word standing. And that is gonna be another map sent the way of Purple Nova.
Not bad at all. Purple Nova looking really strong on this Mei composition. The Ramatra making an appearance as well. It feels like this team is doing a really good job of kind of rotating around these hero bans, which is really impressive to see from a team that I'll remind the viewers that this is a 5-person team. There are no substitutions here. These players just have the hero pool depth that they need to really kind of find every composition that they need. So yeah, good job to Purple Nova. They definitely earned that one.
Absolutely. And I have to again bring up the question of, I feel like I didn't see M Phoenix do enough adaptation to the composition. It felt like they kind of were just bashing their heads against a wall and not considering what they could do better against Purple Nova's composition. They were playing Brawl against Brawl, and they didn't think of how best to adapt to that, in my opinion. Do you agree, Rain? Do you disagree?
Yeah, especially when you're pulling out like the Mei composition. Mei is a hero that, you know, kind of scenarios where the Mei is going to work, but when Mei finds herself in that niche, she's able to put in so much value that you really do have to find something to kind of counteract that, whether it's kind of like sticking on the Freya, like taking more high grounds. I thought that the Sojourn swap was good from Vertil, but you probably could have stuck on that Freya a little bit longer, take a little bit more kind of high ground control away from that Mei, take some more angles, but yeah, maybe not as much flexibility as they'd really need. You know, you're going into King's Row, you're anticipating you're just going to run this Brawl rush, but there's always those little nuances to each composition.
And the players are going to have some time to think about what they want to do for the rest of the series. They're going to have a quick break to think about things. We're going to be right back after just a little bit of time. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. 2-0 is the current scoreline. Team Purple Nova holds the lead at what could theoretically be 1/4 the way through the series. I am Time Monster, joined by Rain. My brain stuttered for a second, and I don't know why.
It happens with the rain part. Yeah, you know, it just throws people off.
It happened with the Time Monster part, actually.
Yeah, but yeah, Ty. So I mean, we're heading into third map now, and we do already know where Phoenix have opted to take us for this third map. They had the opportunity to pick any map and any mode that has not already been played. So we couldn't go back to Control, we couldn't go back to Hybrid, but we still had Escort on the point, we still had Push, we still had Flashpoint, and Phoenix, well, they have opted to take us to a Flashpoint map. We will be heading to Saravasa for this third one.
Right, and I want to get a little bit more specific on that. In the rules, Flashpoint and Push are combined into one set of maps, right? So if we go to because we went to Saravasa, we can't say later on go to Runasapi, right? So we can later, but we have to go through all 4 different game modes. We have to go to a payload map, and then Push will be opened back up. So for now, we cannot go to a Push map until all 4 map types have been selected. But for now, what matters is we are currently going to Saravasa, which you were, if I recall, pretty excited about when it was pointed out.
I love Flashpoint maps just in general. New Junk City, I love it. I'm super excited for Atlas, the third Flashpoint that's going to be making an appearance in Season 17, but Saravasa, definitely my favorite. I love just kind of the fluidity of these maps. It plays so similarly to a Control Point map, but it just burns up so much faster, so you have to be so careful about not kind of feeding. You want to get as many fights in as possible, and then you have those long rotations to the next Flashpoint itself. So I love these Flashpoint maps specifically because I feel like they really favor and showcase how well a team plays together.
I do like Flashpoint in the sense that I'm weird in the way that I like Flashpoint. I like the nerdy aspect of it in the way that I like that you can kind of mathematically almost predict what point will be next. Like if you know which side it is, oh, it's a 67% chance it'll be over there. But I hate it because Purple Nova, I don't know if you're going to play this, but you've become the very thing that makes me dislike Flashpoint. It is the best mode for that man right there. Mr. Big Man trademarked Mauga. And, I don't actually hate Mauga that much. I hate to say it, called out, I'm a fraud, whatever. But it's him. The narrative, yeah. Whatnot.
Yeah, and so to give a little context around this Mauga pick, we did have the bans come through. So the Ramatra was banned out here. We also had the Tracer banned out, the Brig banned out, and the Juno banned out. So I mean, Phoenix are looking to force this Orisa composition that they so favored. And yeah, like you said, Ty, this Mauga making an appearance here for Team Purple Nova. They're gonna have to push in to Phoenix, who's already set up kind of on this high ground though.
Yeah, and with the Juno ban, at first I thought that was a somewhat pointless ban. We were talking about it, like, it seems almost pointless to ban Juno away when you've already banned Brig. Good fight here from Purple Nova. But Juno has one purpose when there's no Brig, and it is specifically in a Juno-Lucio composition that does quite well into Mauga. That makes a lot more sense as to why Purple Nova would choose to get rid of Juno, and that makes a lot more sense. Flygon wins the 1v1 against Haley on the point, and this looks like it's going to be Team Purple Nova potentially able to win the point, but no, Phoenix might have been able to keep control of point after capping it.
Yeah, and I alluded to this earlier, Ty, the point just built up so quickly, already 46% here for Phoenix, but Purple Nova, you have the numbers now, you're looking to come back into this fight, you get the point flipped over in your favor, and now that Mauga kind of set up on this point, it's going to be a little bit harder for Phoenix to kind of walk in. We're looking at basically the 1-2 combo from Primal going in with this this Mauga slam, and then Clover kind of following up on this Genji on those CC'd targets. And Clover already built up you're 3/4 of the way to this Dragon Blade, but Vernal on the other side, the DPS for Phoenix has been doing so much work, and you see that because of this Mauga.
And they know, they've been tracking it. That is why N and Haley, yes, Kyle was out of position, but they just go. They just go. The absolute sheer pace that they chase that kill down. Primal is taking so much damage, by the way. And it's easy to, obviously, right? And Vernal is just I'm sorry, Vernal did die, right? I'm not going crazy. Vernal has gotten 3 after dying. Am I crazy here, Rain?
So Kyle did get chased down by End there.
No,
Vernal,
right, sorry. I am crazy.
but no, but now we see, you know, this is last fight territory. Once you hit that 80% on Flashpoint, it's very, very hard to come back into this just because of the pace that things are building up to. And Team Purple Nova, I mean, they're looking to do it. Now, both Kitsune rushes invested here. We'll see who can get the touch for Purple Nova.
Has to be the blade there from Claw. Oh, Vernal rips his head off the cranium and just splatter on the wall. And with the sound barrier hits 4, this is gonna be sustained all the way. Haley barely surviving, and it doesn't even matter. They'll just get the kill on Primal. Ray has gotten 1, and Haley's still there. No beat required. The Dragon Blade in hand, and it's gonna keep it in their back pocket. She doesn't need it.
No, right? And that is really good here for Phoenix. You hold on to both those DPS ultimates. They're just trying to get their bearings now. Where is that next flashpoint? It looks like we're going to be heading over to Ruins, I think, is just judging from where these players are wandering. And if Phoenix can kind of get set up early here, we could have them kind of with the advantage, as Primal actually has swapped off of the Malga here. So we're going to go back over to this Orisa mirror, and you really just have this overclock from Kyle to kind of try and open things up here. But this is a hard point to get value on that.
Nice, Suzu actually blocks that slash rather than healing the damage from it. The spear is good, and End is actually going to follow up with the damage from Haley. The Dragon Blade didn't get the final blows, but it doesn't need to, because instead, the Lucio, the DPS supportal combat, gets the work done, and Clover drops low, and you don't need any more kills. You can simply get the cap.
Yep, there we go. There's some percentage that's going to be started here for Phoenix as they're looking. So far, so good here on their map pick of Suravasa. And now Phoenix, you still have this overclock ready to go. Sir Fleesh is gonna have this Kitsune rush ready to go as well. Ray is not gonna have that ready to match it, as we've seen kind of in the previous fight here. So this is already advantage for Phoenix.
So much damage. It was partially the disruptor shot. And honestly, Arctic Spin was contributing a lot to the AoE damage going through there. And Clover's first kill here, yeah, it's good, but Vernal might be able to equalize, and that it is the overclock. It'll find Flygon grounded there. Primal's gonna find 2, but man, I thought that was gonna be enough there after Vernal popped the clock, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, that's impressive from Purple Nova. You win that fight off of the back of the overclock from Kyle, and you get out the overclock from Vernal. So you've given enough time for Ray to build up to this Kitsune rush, so now you are going to be able to kind of match those Kitsune rushes, and both Terra Surges are going to be available here as well. So we'll see kind of a fight being forced on point, because that's where Terra Surge and Kitsune rush are kind of going to have the most value.
Kitsune rush, both of them kind of crossing across the points. The Terra Surge pulls it a lot, actually. The Suzu blocks the rail gun. That's a second perk. It seems to be unlocked for Phoenix. Waiting until the end of the fight to equip it, just to be safe. Primal Spears end out of the fight, and that Terra Surge provides the damage resist, but it ain't gonna last for very long, but it doesn't need to. It seems as though Purple Nova have lasted long enough. The cap does come through, though, so there will be another fight for Phoenix.
Yep, exactly. And like I said earlier, that approaching that kind of 80% here for Phoenix. We'll get the little taxi coming through, Flygon helping their tank back into this fight, which very important here, because you know, Purple Nova have some ultimates to work with. You got that bead and the blade. Potentially maybe see a combo coming out. End is going to be able to build up to a beat of his own as well, though. So you're going to have to kind of slice and dice through that overhealth to get this.
Yeah, the beat just doesn't come online fast enough. I think you wanted to play that fight a little bit slower just to build the beat online just in time, but they are able to pull the trigger just fast enough before it can come online and get those kills.
Yeah, all right. Equalized up here as we are heading over to Garden for our next flashpoint here. And Phoenix are actually in a bit of a better position. They're going to be able to get set up kind of in this fountain room, which is probably where Team Nova is looking to path, just judging on the player positioning right now. And I mean, Phoenix can opt to just take a fight right here, right now. And then you just have the point unlock, and you can grab that once this is over.
I mean, the fact that End didn't use beat in that last fight, though, means that they will have it for this one, and a beat-for-beat trade is something you'd like for Phoenix, because it means Vernal will have time to build up to the clock. Haley will have time to build up to the blade, but you're not going to get one of those DPS ultimates if you can't keep your DPS alive. The beat now online, it'll save Sir Fleesh, and it's a necessary save, but it's not going to last very long, as Primal's just going to get the kill anyways. The spear, it did eventually find the kill, and Haley, the deflect, you can deflect all you like. The cap, sure, it came in, but the fight is over anyways.
Yes, I think Phoenix might have backed up towards that point just a little bit too early there, because once you're actually backing up onto the point, however small it is, you're essentially giving that high ground over to Purple Nova, who's pushing in through that fountain room, and that is what really allowed Kyle to find that pick onto Vernal. You just had a little bit of a better angle.
Huge deflect onto the spear, but perfectly timed overclock rail, and Kyle will find a second. Kyle will find a third, and everybody back to the spawn room, please. Don't come back.
Really nice stuff from, honestly, both these Sojourns are getting really good value from these overclocks when you're able to kind of live through it, but Kyle pulling it out first there, so you're going to be able to find that value. Phoenix, though, I mean, you're coming into this, you got 4 ultimates to work with, you have this blade from Haley, no beat on the side of Purple Nova, but Primal does have the Terror Surge, which could potentially be used, but at Purple Nova, they want to go first, they're going to pop this Kitsune Rush from the fountain.
I don't know what happened to Arctic there. The spin might have come out too late or too soon or something. And, like, they're not going to be able to get into the fight after this, and they know it. That's why they're trying to die so fast. And, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, Garden gonna be picked up by Purple Nova here. Just had to use that Kitsune Rush from Ray to secure it as, oh, well, you don't have to walk too far. We're going over to Palace for this this fourth and potentially final flashpoint if Purple Nova can clutch it out. But Phoenix looking to get all evened up here once again on Saravasa. You've got 4 ultimates to work with still, and both teams gonna be meeting up on this high ground. A Kitsune Rush available for one, and not the other, though.
Huge damage on the Ray early. It'll force the Suzu, and big damage, but the TP is still available. Goodbye, Kyle. I can't believe that was a headshot, a Terror Surge, a Blade. Just in case you need a little bit extra to top everything off. It was 3 ultimates. Maybe a bit of an overinvest, but it won you the fight.
It did, yeah. The team kill, so unfortunately no staggers here for Phoenix to try and get a little bit longer of a time between these fights, but you still have this overclock from Vernal, and like I said, you can get some pretty big value. I think if you're Phoenix right now, though, you'd probably want kind of bait Purple Nova onto the point. It's going to be easier for Vernal to get angles once you have Purple Nova just sitting out kind of in that open. Vernal could be on the high ground, but you're going to have to deal with the blade from Clover.
And it's going in, and it will find one. I thought it was going to be nothing for a second there, but no, he'll find 2. In fact, and it's a 3rd. Will it be a 4th? No, Fly Guy's going to steal it right from under you. Will Arctic be the next to fall? Well, I mean, a spin and maybe a little bit of an exit, but no, Clover is not done with the Bloodlust.
Yeah, not bad at all, Purple Nova. I mean, you get the overclock out from Vernal there. Phoenix weren't quite able to find any of the kills that they needed because that blade from Clover was just covering so much distance and so much damage being dealt. And now, Purple Nova, you can hold this with the Terror Surge. You have the B. You're going to have this overclock of your with. We've seen what Kyle has done with that on the last flashpoint, so I'm sure that they'll be able to look for that here. Now, you do have the beat online for End, and that is going to be the ultimate that is going to either sustain you through this fight, or if you're Phoenix, maybe take a dry fight here. If you do it quickly, you might get another one.
That was so necessary because, yeah, you got the beat, but there's 3, 4 now on the other side of things, and this beat needs to come online now in order to save this fight. You're trading out, even though, look at where these people are positioned. That might be another kill in the drink, and ends your chances. And Clover died earlier, so they might be alive, but they ain't nowhere close.
Ooh, okay, yeah, I like this from Phoenix. I mean, that's, like you said, great opening pick there from Vernal. You hold on to the beat through it. That fighting kind of around that ledge, very dangerous against the Lucio and the Orisa composition, and Phoenix showing you exactly why you shouldn't be over there. As Purple Nova, I mean, now you've got 4 ultimates to work with, and you've got the Kitsune Rush just to open things out.
The beat, that'll force another one. That's a Terror Surge out for Primal. And look at this, the overclock available, the swing up is aggressive, and Kyle takes so much damage. The care needs to be there, and it'll be the beat. That's what they've opted for. Terror Surge now for Arctic. It'll drop in, but the slides, it's a double, and the overclock did get invested, but how much was it really good for? Not really much. Instead, it'll have to be the teammates to carry the weight, and how much can they carry? It's looking like it's good here. The cap does come in late, though, so there will be one more fight on this point.
Oh, okay, yeah, Phoenix need one more fight win to equalize Saravasa here, but this is looking like potentially the last fight in this map, because Purple Nova, I mean, you got that 80%, you're going to be able to build up to the blade kind of mid-fight here, but with Surfleash having this Kitsune Rush online, I'm anticipating that we're going to see that kind of as the opening here. DPS ultimate's going to be online very shortly. Extra damage from the Rush could make the difference.
I don't know if you saw how low Surfleash got there, Rain, but it's a miracle he's still alive, and with Haley gone, that might be spelling disaster, but Vernal with the clutch! Vernal with the clutch! It's 3 for him! It's a miracle for him! And that might have just done it! They extend the map!
Oh my gosh, we're tied up now. We're going to like the final point here as everybody is their way over to Temple. It does look like Team Purple Nova are going to be able to get set up early here. So you have that a little bit of an, but Phoenix, I mean, you built up this overclock because Vernal just destroyed everybody on the side of Purple Nova. So you've got both DPS ultimates to try and crack open this point versus the bleed from Clover. Now, okay, Flygon isn't gonna quite lose their head there, but I mean, you have to be really careful. It looks like Phoenix wants to go really aggressive.
7 HP, he had the Focus Sash equipped, it seems. Kyle's got low HP too, and it's the Blades doing the work. This Kiriko gone. Clover's found 2, and that Blade's looking a little bit better than the one on the other side, but Clover isn't got much HP left. It's a bully from the Orisa, and now Arctic and Primal, they're the one finding kills, but with Arctic gone, who else can find eliminations? Purple Nova, they've got the Cap.
Got the Cap, and you're gonna go pick up Clover as well. So you're gonna have this Genji back in the fight fairly quickly. Phoenix, though, looking pretty good ult-wise. You have this overclock ready to go from still, and you're gonna have this Terra Surge. The Terra Surge against Purple Nova, you know, Terra Surge v Terra Surge, it's looking a little bit better for Purple Nova because they also have a Kitsune Rush to go with it. And this point, really good for Kitsune Rush, just straight across the point.
The first one is popped, yeah. And the overclock as well. Kyle, this will force them so far back. If it doesn't even get kills, it's still found the value. And, I mean, Surf Leash is gone. That's the only one you really need. The Kiriko's... I mean... Kiriko does have a pretty fast run back, though.
Yeah, exactly. And especially if Surf Leash happens to have, like, the Shuffle perk equipped where you get the 2 kind of TPs, somebody can basically just Epic Zone for that Kiriko to get back in this fight. But 80% for Team Purple Nova. Phoenix, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it right here, right now.
Terra Surge, that's an early kill. Vernal was the one who hit the clutch, and now he's gone. Now he can't hit it anymore. It's a double beat. Flygon hit the second one, so it's advantage for Team Purple Nova, besides Vernal dying. And Vernal had the overclock. That was the one that you needed to win. And now the players fall Surf Leash. It's a consolation prize. It's just confetti. The Kitsune Rush. It means diddly squat, and that's going to be the map set forward.
Another one on the board for Team Purple Nova as they are putting themselves at a match point now. A reminder that this is a first to 4, and you got 3 on the board already. Looking really good for Team Purple Nova. Phoenix, I mean, it looked pretty good there. You took it, you know, that 5th flashpoint. It's as close as you could possibly take it, but you weren't able to squeeze out that victory, and now you're looking at a reverse sweep if you want to take this match win.
And how many reverse sweeps of this caliber have happened in just esports history? Like, I mean, I don't want to sound dramatic, but like, genuinely, I can think of one best of 7 reverse sweep ever, and I think we all know the one that I'm talking about, the Shanghai Dragons versus Seoul Dynasty. Like, outside of that, like, it doesn't happen very often. It is a tall mountain to climb, the map 7, mentally in game. But if you win 1, those thoughts start to creep into the other team. If you win 2, the concerns start. They start to sweat. You win 3, that's when it gets all the momentum has just dropped off a cliff for the other team, and that is where you win. So by no means is this out of your reach. You just need to do what they did.
Yep. Yeah, it's
just do what they did.
Just do what they did. No problem. But
yeah, just do what those guys do.
So Phoenix, unfortunately, this is going to be, you know, potentially their last map pick here. None of their map picks have gone in their favor so far. And we do know that, like you mentioned earlier, Ty, there's one more game mode to be played before we can cycle back to the other ones, and that is going to be Escort, the payload maps. So Phoenix are going to have an opportunity to pick whatever payload map they so choose, and it's going to have to be a doozy of a payload if you want to start everything here and now. You need to find one that you're comfortable on, that's going to work with these compositions that you're running. You've been, you know, favoring this Orisa. It hasn't quite, you know, worked out for you. But if you're going to stick with it, you got to find a map that's going to, you know, fit the bill.
So there's quite an interesting Escort pool here. Escort tends to have quite a wide array of maps, and it tends to have, you know, maps that play very differently than the rest of the maps in the game. We've got Gibraltar, very dive. Junkertown, Widowmaker, Rialto, very weird. The map is Rialto. Very weird. I think a lot of the time when you think about Rialto, you think about something like Diva, right? That's, I feel, personally the most popular tank all time
Mhm.
on Rialto, especially considering Overwatch 1 when Diva was like the off tank, right? You
Yeah.
know, there was a time in Double Shield where Sigma especially even eclipsed her, but even outside of that, Diva's been like an all-time pick on Rialto. Winston does see some viability. Sigma, Hazard, Orisa, I'm sure can still be played here. But Rialto is going to be the map, and this is where we have to see the final stand be pulled out here.
Yeah, exactly. And now you're facing down some bans as well. There's going to be hero bans coming through, and undoubtedly that one of them is going to be at least a ban onto a tank. So you're going to have to kind of work around that. But you did touch on it, Ty. Like there are some opportunities to play some different kind of styles of composition here on Rialto. You do have those really long sight lines, so you tend to kind of favor more kind of medium to long range DPS. We don't tend to see a whole lot of Reaper May making an appearance on Rialto. Not that it hasn't happened, but you're kind of locked into the range and the topography of the map where, like you said, sometimes you can run some dive because there's a little bit of high ground to work around here. But if you're Phoenix, I mean, right now, you got to be thinking really hard about your own hero bans here. Are you going to target out some of these longer range DPS heroes? Are we going to see another target onto kind of like the backline? We saw a Brig and a Juno being banned out by one of each team last map. So this is where you got to, all the eggs are in the basket, and you got to figure out what is going to work for you to try and pull out the win on Rialto.
And if I'm M Phoenix, if I don't have a specific ban in mind, or if I'm not specifically intending to play Widowmaker, I am intending to ban Widowmaker. I've seen Purple Nova. They want to play something weird. I can't risk something that will tilt me in this position, and I need to play normal Overwatch, I think. If I'm not planning on playing Widowmaker, I need to take it out of the equation. If Rialto is a good Widowmaker map, it is something that plays very weird, and if I don't have a specific strategy in mind as to how I'm going to beat it, I think that is my first ban here if I'm Phoenix, and that is the very first thing I would take away personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I gotta agree with you, especially you don't want to tilt, right? The one shot from the Widowmaker can just really destroy kind of an entire fight. If you find the right pick, one squishy out of the fight, that's your support gone. Well, everybody is just forced to like back all the way out and play for the kind of like that next fight and that next fight. And with Rialto, I think you love to like burn as much time off the clock on this first point as you possibly can. Once you get into second point, there's a little bit more kind of high ground for the defending team to work around. Sometimes it can be really hard to just walk across that bridge at all, but a lot of times we can see teams just get caught up on this first point of Rialto, and I do think that it has a lot, like you said, to do with kind of these long-range hit scam. The Widowmaker, Freya could even be kind of one of the players in the game now. Sometimes the Hanzo, maybe we haven't seen Hanzo a whole lot, but it's these like one-pick potential where you can just set all the way up by that bridge and just throw your shots in, and you'll probably hit something.
Right, even Ashe, even though she doesn't have that same one-shot potential, her just raw damage, the dynamite pressure, the fact that she has a pseudo one-tap combo with her scope shot, hip fire shot, headshot, the fact that is a pseudo one-tap combo, and I think it is a solid one-tap combo at a lot of ranges on 225 heroes. I think that is a legitimate concern as well, and it seems as though we've gotten our first set of bans. It's going to be Sojourn, Orisa. We can't do an Orisa ban, actually. Sojourn and Anna are the first set of It's team-based, I guess.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm going to let production figure. I'm minimizing Discord so I don't feed you guys bad information. I'm locking in on this conversation here. That's my bad. Blame me. But I think that Sojourn kind of fits the same sort of idea. And that kind of tells me maybe Phoenix does want to play Widowmaker, right? Maybe that is part of their plan here. And I think that, Rialto is the kind of map where if I need to reverse my momentum, if I need to change my fortunes, if I need to throw my other team off their momentum, maybe I want to say, you know what, screw it. Widowmaker. We're doing it.
Yep. Where this could potentially be the last map for Phoenix. If you have something crazy that you're gonna pull out, something you haven't done already, I mean, you gotta do it now. So you haven't seen, we haven't seen the Widowmaker yet from Phoenix, but if we were to see it, surely it would be this map here. And yeah, so the Soj ban coming out. We won't have the Soj in, which, okay, we have seen a lot of Soj playtime, and I mean, I'm thinking like Kyle specifically from Purple Nova has really been lighting it up in the kill feed with that Sojourn. And so not only do you get to kind of like ban out a hero that's been working really, really well for Purple Nova, but it could kind of feed into whatever composition Phoenix has in mind.
You want to tell them about what we just heard?
So we do have the rest of the bans coming through. So Phoenix have banned out the Sojourn and the Ramatra, and then Purple are banning out the Orisa and the Ana here. And I mean, the Purple, right? Like Purple banning out the Orisa, I get it. Because Arctic has definitely been favoring this Orisa, and like we mentioned, like she definitely can be played on Rialto. So with a double tank ban in this map, it's interesting to see we might end up kind of on the more of a dive style. You kind of alluded to, Diva, Baby Winston, because I mean, Orisa and Ram are out of it. That's kind of two really mainstay kind of brawl/rush tanks gone.
My concern with that is the Ana ban. That's where I'm really like, that's kind of like the main like nail in the ban set for me, because Ana is actually like one of the most, if not the single most popular support all-time Overwatch 2 on Rialto. Like she is popular for dive comps and for the more weird Rialto style of, if you see Diva in the poke style, you see double flex support. And when you see double flex support, you see Ana with either Alari or Zen. Ana is ubiquitous on Rialto, and it's not something you think about very often, because you don't think about Rialto very often, because it's very rarely picked at high-level play, but also because you never really, it's not a very flashy role. It's not a very, like, in-your-face thing, the Ana on Rialto. But it is very ubiquitous, so seeing that gone really changes things. And oh my god, there's a Life Weaver.
We are on the defense here as well, so Phoenix are gonna have to. Okay. Yeah, no, okay. There was a Life Weaver though. We saw it. We all saw it. Phoenix just having a little fun with us here, as they are gonna go over to this Break Geno competition. Arctic on the Diva here, so yeah, we're gonna get a little bit of dive defense happening. Haley back over on the Tracer as well. That's no longer banned out, so she's gonna be able to play that hero that she's been, putting a bit of time in on this series. Now, Purple Nova are looking like they also want to run a dive, but a little bit different of a flavor, as you do have this Lucio Kiriko, Kyle on the Echo as well. So a lot of mobility in the dive from Team Purple Nova.
Yeah, this is kind of like a standard sort of, not necessarily standard because you would expect a hit scan for Purple Nova, but this is semi-standard. The Echo on Rialto and the Genji on Rialto. It's very odd to see them together, but it is a very hard and fast sort of go in together. Haley's just gonna kill Kyle, but what else is new? Haley just finding a kill at the start of a fight, whatever.
Yeah, she definitely finds value on this Tracer, and Rialto has so many kind of little corners and stuff that Tracer can be hiding in, but I mean, Purple Nova, push this high ground, have Kyle available, and that's at least going to force Phoenix to back up a bit.
Kyle's made a quick return into the fight, has managed to regroup with our team on high ground, and look at this. Flygon is just grounded, trying to duel out the Tracer, and Haley has found the backline. Haley is bullying people, and yet despite that fact, her backline is getting bullied in return, as Team Purple Nova has found a way to get an excellent dive in.
Yeah, Primal falling a little bit low there, but does have the bubble and the heals ready to go. And I mean, this card has pushed forward so quickly, as we're looking at a checkpoint being captured here. Arctic was unfortunately out of the mech, so not able to put a contest in.
Despite the fact that I swear, Rain, that there was a point that somebody died on Team Purple Nova. I don't think the card stopped moving.
No, No, I agree. Like Kyle, you know, taken down in the early fight there, but otherwise there was somebody on the payload at pretty much all times there, and that allows Purple Nova to come into the second point, basically 5 minutes in the time bank, and now Phoenix, you are set up on the high ground here, but this mobility from Team Purple Nova just makes it so easy to contest this high ground.
First ult will be this pulse bomb, surprisingly fast, by the way. Surfleesh at 94%, as well as Ray. She's got that Kitsune Rush online. Bit of a bully here. Haley's just gonna blow up the tank. Goodbye, Gorilla. Clover still does find one, so no turn potential, I would say, this fight, as Flygon dips, you know, in fear, I would say.
I like this a little bit more from Phoenix. Haley kind of taking an angle. It felt like before Haley was actually just kind of a distraction in the backline of Team Purple Nova, which can be very impactful, but when you have the Lucio Kiriko backline, you're not necessarily as bothered by the Tracer as much as, say, a Brig Ana would be, or, you know, even a Bap Brig. Whereas now you're kind of looking to combo a little bit more with Arctic on this D.Va. Yeah, you can put pressure on the backline, but you can really just play kind of for the anti-dive here. As soon as we see Primal go in, that's when we're seeing kind of Haley and Arctic engage.
Gets an rush that'll send across the point, and Vernal has blown up Kyle, but the blade, it's 1/2 kills done and dusted. Wipe your hands with the blood of your enemies. Primal is going to find another landing kill. Surfleesh is gone. It's a 2v3 on Cart now, and Primal does have his namesake in his back pocket if he so needs to pop it, but Ray, she'll find a kill onto Haley there, so this does seem as though the payload will continue marching forward.
Yep. Ultimates are ready to go here for Phoenix. If you can just get stabilized, get Arctic healed up, and yeah, you have this orbital Ray. You're gonna have to rally. That can be a really good combo, but you're gonna have to demech this copy from Kyle before they get that bomb online.
Soundbearer, this should be enough to allow them to get the full cap, but look at this, so many ultimates that they're going to be walking back in with here for Phoenix. They just need to get the touch on point, and they've gotten it under control, the beat now online, and it wasn't really enough to, or late enough to counter anything other than the orbital ray for Surfleesh, but this is still going to be enough to win the fight out. Beautiful tracking there for Haley, beautiful kills here for the entire team, and that's the fight ended. Might be able to find some more stagger kills here.
Yeah, you'd really love that if you're Phoenix, because there's still a lot of time here, and actually gonna be Kyle swapping over to the Pharah, finding that kill onto Haley. So this is an opportunity for Team Purple to get aggressive here. Immediately we see Primal kind of diving onto the high ground. Nice heads up from Phoenix to back up a little bit. All right, now Phoenix really needs to just play for the time, wait for Haley to get back in here, because you've got both those DPS ultimates ready to go, and Purple Nova, I mean, they've just got the Kitsune Rush to work with.
A necessary bullet shot sooner rather than later. 7 HP there for Clover, but still manages to survive. Haley in the back line, just diving over above. Hello, Kyle. Goodbye, Brig, potentially? No. A bash away is good enough, and Ray will find one, but Kyle traded back. Both Flex CPS are now out of the fight, and Vernal gets healed up by a double pack, and Primal, a dive. It'll find, actually, the tank who's been desuited, and another kill here. Is it going to be the bullet shot, or are you just going to give this one away? It's a shot onto the Lucio, and it's not enough to find a kill, as, you know, Freya's got some good damage, but not that good.
Yeah, not quite enough, and Primal has taken out both those DPS from Phoenix, so Team Purple Nova, I mean, again, making really good time here, coming into the third point, 3 minutes on the clock. You're going to have this Blade and the Primal Rage ready to go very shortly. Phoenix still holding on to these DPS ultimates. We'll see what Vernal can get done with the bullet shot. You'd really love to kind of just force that bubble out from the Monkey, and then you can go in with it, but where Team Purple Nova is playing these kind of really high mobility characters, you're really just looking to kind of burn down one person. Don't be afraid to solo ult.
Nice kill there for Vernal. I mean, I don't think I've seen a bullet shot this whole map, and with how fast that ult builds, you can get very greedy with it. Ray and Kyle will each find one. Primal able to walk them down, and this is looking like one more fight to walk the payload home.
Yeah.
Where's Haley?
Haley's lurking. Oh no, fighting the Pharah kind of in a corridor. Pulse bomb ready to go, but I mean, the Pharah's probably not going to be the target here. Haley's going to have to get back into this fight and kind of help her team, because we are approaching this third checkpoint rapidly.
Barrage devoured here by Arctic, but not devoured enough, as the DM doesn't last long enough. Clover with the Blade is able to find Vernal, but Surfleesh finds Kyle. The beat will allow the payload to continue to push, and the pulse bomb, it's good. Haley, she's able to find one. She managed to get back into the fight. She wasn't that far away, of course, and with the respawn advantage, they should be able to hold on tight to this point. Primal, I doubt, will invest his namesake, and no, he will not. Haley finishes him off, and that'll be a stop to this fight.
Yeah, you get the rally out from End too, kind of happening towards the end of the fight, and you don't necessarily much value as you really like from that ultimate, but you do at least stop the payload. That's crucial. And Phoenix holding on to this bola from Vernal. You're going to have the Orbital Ray from Surfleash online ready to go as well. So you're going to want to maybe use that to counter this this Kitsune Rush that's coming in from Ray. Because right now you don't really have anything to stop it, and there's not necessarily all those great angles to kind of just kite out of it.
That's going to be the early Bolo shot as well as the Kitsune Rush, but Vernal just a little bit too far forward. Gets punished hard there by Clover. Primal Rage is in the back pocket. Finally is able to be used there and engage. The concussive blast has been turned into a concussive pull, and Arctic punishes actually Kyle a little bit too far forward. Thought they could get a kill, but instead they are the victim. They are the one who's been turned into a little bit of a paste on the ground. Primal finds the melee kill into Surfleash, but so low. If they can find the kill there onto the Winston, that might be a dead Genji as well, thanks to the Freya. Boop into the sky, but the kill is denied. 24 seconds remain. They will sustain.
Yeah, we are approaching overtime here. Phoenix doing a great job getting time off the clock, but now you don't have Hank in the fight here, and when overtime is going to start, it's going to be real hard to get these respawns.
That was so much damage all of a sudden. I don't know how all of those shurikens were hitting there onto Vernal, but the explosion of damage just blew up the headscan DPS, and now it will be an overtime finish, and oh, the boop, it's just perfect.
Yeah, Arctic not quite able to get that one last contest as Purple Nova finish out Rialto. No time in the bank, but you do get all three of those checkpoints, and Phoenix now going to have to compose themselves as you didn't quite hold on to that defense, but you have a pretty solid chance on the offense here. Now, Ty, I'm going to be interested to see if Team Purple Nova sticks with this kind of Echo, Genji, Winston composition on the defense here, where we did mention earlier, like, D.Va does tend to be a little bit more favored. There's a really nice corner that you can stall out the cart there, so we'll see if they stick on that composition for their defense. It worked well on the offense.
I don't think we'll see the same DPS lineup. Yeah, I would expect I don't know, I think Genji Pharah is a bit weird. Genji can kind of fulfill the same purpose as Tracer, and Tracer is banned on this map, right? Where you want a DPS who can kind of follow up on those 120 damage rockets. Currently hovering the life... Tracer not banned? Oh, these are holdovers from last map. My bad, I'm a goober. Surfleash was hovering the life weaver from him there. Please don't do that to me. It will break my heart. But still, even if Tracer's not banned, Genji can still do a very similar thing, right? Where he can dive in and follow up on the damage of a Pharah and kind of just kill the target who's been damaged. And it can work even better because he gets a dash reset.
Yes, exactly. The get in, get out mentality of the Genji. It's like Team Purple is going to have this same composition here for the defense pile over on that Pharah. And Phoenix are actually going to be pulling out a Winston of their own on the attack. So Arctic off of that D.Va now. Otherwise, same composition here for them. You got that Lucio Kiriko backline. Although I guess actually Phoenix had the Juno Brig on the defense. So we'll see what they can get done with a little bit of a swap up.
I do like to see the double Lucio Kiriko. It is a classic at this point. It's ever since Overwatch 2 came out, it has been probably a top 3 backline of all time. And it is not slowing down anytime soon. Ray, though, immediately taken out by Haley. Haley has been doing so well today, I have to say.
Yeah, this Tracer, she did exactly what she needed to. Find an angle, you get behind Purple Nova, and it takes enough attention, or Arctic takes enough attention from the front line of Purple Nova that Haley can just go in, get that kill on to Ray, and now Cart moving forward here. I don't know if Purple Nova are even going to have a touch. Looks like they are not staging for one. You're okay. Nope, you are staging for one. Primal goes in, gonna get the contest at the last second.
And he almost messed up his jump there. I think Clover might have actually had to get the touch there. And I've been there. It's actually kind of difficult to line up your Winston jumps sometimes. So I kind of feel that Primal goes in pretty deep. Kyle has the barrage, so this might be coming through, and it does. It will find a trade onto Arctic, but it is a trade at the end of the day. Infernal does get the kill there, and with Haley finding another, it's a dive in for Clover, and it might just be over. I think this should be the first point capped, even with some trades at the end of the day. I mean, Flygon is just killing people. Hello? Okay, he's finally put down, but I mean, this is looking like level 100, and this is freaking ridiculous. Arctic is actually back. Okay, this is Okay, yeah, no, should be a push. This should be a cap, right, guys? Primal isn't lasting much longer, and Kyle is... okay, no, Flygon is also back. They have to beat this. Are you serious?
Ooh, it's not gonna matter at the end as Purple Nova not able to hold that first point. But hey, I mean, yeah, you got that beat out from end. And now, you know, moving in, it's not as healthy of a time bank as but 4 minutes is nothing to sneeze at if you're Phoenix, so you're feeling pretty good. You've got yourself set up on this high ground as well. Vernal has that bolt ready to go. Arctic has the primal as well. So a lot of staying potential here, and you really would love to pull this high ground. You don't want to allow Purple Nova to get set up here. You have that Kitsune Rush from Ray ready to go, and that could basically be the opener here.
And that it is. They'll walk in with it a pulse bomb, I think that was, or was that the bullet shot? I can't... It was a bullet shot. It was a bullet shot. And what a rocket there. Sir Fleesh removed from the fight, and this will have to be the reset. Vernal, this is not long of the world, and Clover will clean that up.
All right, there we go. Stopping the payload, and this is good for Purple Nova because you have a heck of a lot of poke damage in this Pharah, and you're getting the poke kind of as Phoenix are trying to push across this bridge. Maybe you get to force out some cooldowns beforehand. That would be massive for Purple Nova to kind of make a stand here on second point, but Phoenix will be able to get across that bridge more or less unscathed, and now it's the rotation up to the high ground, trying to displace Purple Nova from this advantage.
Early beat it feels there from Flygon, and it's going to be the Dragon Blade following up on it, and End is gone, and they're going to keep trying to chase these kills, and yeah, I can't say I blame them, because these kills are quite easy to chase down when they're not fighting back, because they know the fight is lost and they don't want to stagger.
Yeah, it does tend to help, doesn't it? As Purple Nova, I mean, that was an expensive fight. I mean, you used the Primal Rage and the Blade and the Beat, and now you're holding on to, basically, you're gonna have to build up to this barrage from Kyle, and that's what you're looking to use in this next one. But Phoenix, you have the Primal Rage and the Pulse Bomb. You're gonna be able to build up to the Kitsune Rush and the Bola as well. So, Purple Nova gotta get another fight on second.
Not sure how Clover is able to die there. That's going to be a chase down a little bit here. The TP is actually quite short there. Arctic is going to be able to find the kill, but the juggle, it's not quite what it needs to be, but instead, Sir Fleesh is going to be the one who finds the kill. And this payload, it'll keep on a-trucking.
Yeah, looking like second point. Not quite going to be capped as Clover once again going in for the contest here.
It'll be a little bit of a touch, but it's not a whole lot. Just a bit of a presence, you know. Just make sure that they know they're there, just to remind them, you know.
I could touch this payload if I wanted to.
Yeah, exactly.
So Phoenix now, you didn't use any ults. I mean, you used the Primal Rage, but you're still looking really healthy ult economy, excluding this Kitsune Rush from Sir Fleesh, and both of those ultimates, as we are going to see Ray move on to this Juno here. Kyle, okay, that was the one ultimate that was available for Purple Nova and now gone.
Yeah, Vernal's gonna find a second as well. Like, this might just be them steamrolling through third. I was gonna bring this up, like, earlier. It can feel like a monumentous, difficult challenge to get through each point of Rialto. And the respawn advantage of third is what makes it so difficult, as well as just look at how much of a shooting gallery third point is.
Yeah. They
might just walk through it.
The payload is really rapidly approaching that gold box. Team Purple, okay, they've locked in now. The Kitsune Rush was committed, but all the kills going the way of Team Purple. Going to stabilize, but there's still 2 minutes on the clock here for Phoenix to try and push this payload just a little bit, 6 meters of distance. So definitely not an impossible task here, especially with this Bola and the Beat ready to go for the side of Phoenix. Kyle's still the lone ult holder on the side of Team Purple. You're really going to have to make this barrage count, but, you got to be careful of the Winston bubble, and then, of course, the Freya as well.
Rain, I don't think I could have had a more obvious caster curse than I did in the last fight. Kyle's going to blow up Arctic immediately, and this is looking like an immediate reset. It's just one of those things where if you lose one on entry, it doesn't feel winnable, but they're still going to play for it because they get 2 kills out of nowhere, and the bullet shot is soon to be used. There we go. It's going to be sent in, but it's going to be at the feet of a Brigitte, and she's going to be too bulky to be felled unless Haley has something to say about it. This Winston on cart, though, with a Primal Rage, is going to be able to stall this one forever, but hello, Arctic has returned, And with this Winston diving deep into the backline, Haley has got no recall to keep her alive. The Primal Rage is now on point, and 107 of the time bank. This needs to be a worthwhile fight. This has been a minute off the time bank. This one engage pretty much already, and it needs to end soon, or else you've wasted this time. And the Dragon Blade is in now for Clover. It's sent into the backline, and all of a sudden, this fight that looked winnable is starting to slip from you, as Haley is only now getting back, and your Juno, or your Kiriko rather, is starting to drop low, and End has found 2 individual Soundwave kills, and now this is where things need to go from dicey to done. And Sir Fleesh, if he dies, this is where things will go from done to done. And yet, despite that, they find it slipping through the fingers of Team Purple Nova.
Oh, yeah, you had the Orbital Ray ready to go, but you did not have the bodies on point. Purple Nova, I mean, it's a little bit healthier of a time bank for Phoenix. You get 30 seconds more. In the end, I don't, that might be one fight kind of a difference here, as we are going to move into the overtime rounds, and we'll see. Okay, so since Team Purple Nova, you didn't have as much time, I believe that you are going to be kind of starting on this attack here. And the first point, I think, went fairly well for them until they kind of got to that bridge. So you want to clean things up kind of quickly on first point if you want to get any kind of amount of percentage here of push on this payload.
And one thing I do want to say real quick, I from what I've been able to tell, 1 minute time bank for completing a map in OT, it's either secretly genius or it's a total scam, because you have just enough time to get one good, well-planned fight in, and then scramble to get a good touch in. You scramble to barely get a touch on point, and then maybe get a stagger fight. 35 seconds is so much time to get a good fight, and then a second, potentially good fight, probably a slightly staggered fight. That, in terms of overtime, is a year worth of time.
Yeah, absolutely. So Purple Nova are going to start on this Juno break composition, a little bit more staying power kind of on this point, and immediately you're going to look to take this high ground. You find the kill onto End. Oh, that's perfect for you to start out this attack.
That's insane for his pick. Just getting the Lucio early, and that's what I was talking about a little bit earlier, or insinuating a little bit earlier. The 225 HP heroes have fallen off so hard simply because stuff like that can just happen. People could just die randomly, and it's much easier to just happen to a 225 HP hero. Brig probably wouldn't have died there. It's just a simple fact.
Yeah, you have that armor and the shield, so a little bit more kind of health to work with, as now overtime is going to be starting. The numbers are here for Phoenix. They're going to look for one more engage, try to shut down this push.
Yeah, and look at this. The Juno's already about to die. Ray falls. She's not in this fight, and they have to trade their tank for it, but Flexport for tank, that's a trade some people will take. And Haley, she's gonna try to make this one work, but it's a 2 for 2 now. And with how low End and Sir Fleesh are, I'm not sure if I'm liking this for M Phoenix. They have to find a way to make it work now. End is still, surviving, but they have to give up the point.
I like this from Phoenix. I like that Haley and End are not getting staggered out here. I mean, when it comes to time, it's like you give up the point, but like it's all about just winning one fight here. So you really can't get staggered out. You can't afford to. Wait for Sir Fleesh to come back into this. Haley's going to be able to build up to a pulse bomb fairly quickly, but Kyle's going to also have a pulse bomb ready to go. So it's all about kind of who's going to find this opening pick here, potentially with the pulse bomb or potentially just as a clean pick.
Dive there onto Vernal. He's going to be peeled for and he's going to be cared for. Haley finds the first kill. That one is mandatory, and Haley is going to find a second. Vernal dives on the backline, and yeah, that is a bit of an anticlimactic ending, but it's one that Haley just chucks the pulse bomb at, chucks a pulse pistols at, and just destroys the end of that round.
I have to say, though, I mean, for the time bank that they had, Team Purple Nova, you get a very solid amount of distance. You get all the way through that first point and a good chunk through second point as well. You don't get stalled out kind of on that bridge. So it's going to have to be a very strong defense from him here if they want to finish out this match and to claim a 4-0 sweep. But Phoenix, I mean, as these maps have gone on, it feels like they've gotten a little bit more cohesive as a team. Haley and Arctic working really well together, that tank and kind of the tracer, finding the angles, really pinch in on the support characters from Team Purple Nova. And I mean, hey, they're pulling out the same composition here as they to go on the attack. What I really want to see from them is move as quick as Team Purple did. Team Purple immediate, like no hesitation. You dive onto the high ground, force Phoenix out, and that's what you really need to do.
I mean, the main thing I'm thinking about is this difference in backline. It's the main difference besides Vernal and Clover, which, you know, Genji versus Freya is obviously very different, but the backlines are very different. You have two 225 HP heroes, Lucio, Kiriko, which obviously function very differently than the heroes on Team Purple Nova, but Brig is a 250 HP hero with armor, with a shield. This character is going to be so difficult to dislodge, so difficult to kill, so difficult to handle. And even if Haley gets... Okay, well... when Haley gets past Kyle, I don't know how well she's going to handle a flank battle with Flygon, but apparently she can handle a flank battle with whoever is just there. I don't know, man.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, that's excellent for them to open things up. You don't have the pressure of Kyle on this Tracer, on this Lucio Kiriko backline. You can get set up on the high ground. You just have the Tracer kind of pushing the cart here, and this is just free percentage for Phoenix on this first point.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. Like, there are some things that I will see and I will say, well, that should never happen. That's a different type of should never happen, where it's not Kyle's fault. It's just like, I don't think people should be allowed to hit those. You know what I mean? Like,
her aim is so much better than mine. So much. Just leaves above.
I could never.
I have to say, I mean, Team Purple Nova did a really good job of stabilizing after that, though. You've kind of stalled out the point here halfway through. You find that first pick in this fight onto Vernal, 20 seconds on the board here. So Phoenix, I mean, you really can't afford to lose anyone else, and you to find a kill here.
I mean, Haley's going to be able to find Flygon, who's just got it slightly out of position. Clover still finds N, so it's a battle of who can win a fight without their main support, and with Sir Fleece gone, there's no main support, but no supports in general. Haley looking for a pulse bomb target, but nobody's a good opportunity, right? You got Blinks here, but somebody's got to touch the point. It's got to be you now. Pulse bomb, but it's sent onto the floor, and Kyle's able to just blink away. Vernal's here on the Sombra. He can keep the touch going for a little bit, but he's got to teleport away. Who's got it up next?
Yeah, overtime now. Phoenix cannot get off this fight. Oh, unfortunately, a little Ajax there for End, trying to get that beat off, and it is looking like Purple Nova going to be able to finish things off. Vernal, though, still hanging around.
Vernal's actually been doing a great job juggling this point. Haley and Vernal, it's unfortunate they can't quite clutch it up in the end, but I will say Vernal doing a great job at the end to, you know, straddle touch the point there a little bit.
Yeah, we saw, like we said, like a little bit kind of more synergy maybe coming through from this team as they kind of warmed up and moved these maps. Unfortunately, didn't quite pull together in time, and it is going to be the 4-0 coming through here for Team Purple Nova. They looked absolutely fantastic across all 4 of these maps, showing great flexibility in the compositions that they played and really impressive team synergy as well.
Absolutely fantastic, and I'm also kind of shocked that we didn't see any substitutions at all, as long as I'm not mistaken. Like, it was the same 5 players on both teams. Granted, you know, one of these teams didn't exactly have any players to sub out, given the fact that it was just 5 people to play the whole time. But it was the same 10 players in the whole time. They stuck it out. They played it all the way through. And we're going to go into a really quick break. But when we come back, we will have an interview. We will see you on the other side of it. Welcome back, everybody. We are joined here with Ray of Team Purple Nova. How are you feeling after your match, Ray?
Pretty proud, pretty proud. I'm just happy that we all worked so well together.
Yep. Heading into this match, what was it that you guys were, hoping for with this match? What was it that your kind of goal set was? Like, were you hoping for a win? Was you just hoping to, see how you were fitting as a team? What was your goal set heading into this?
I think the goal was definitely to see how we would work together. We were trying our best, but I don't think we were expecting like to win all. This is our first tournament actually all together, so it was really nice to see that we were working really well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that this being your first tournament, like you guys had so much synergy. So are you a newly formed team? Have you been scrimming a little bit kind of like leading up to this, or was this kind of like the first debut of the team?
This is a newly formed team. Actually, unironically, I am a trial. And
Oh, wow.
their flex support actually wasn't able to make it. So I was actually the trial and I was filling in, and I was finishing up my trials this week. So
Good job.
Okay, awesome. Well, I mean, I hope the trial goes well. I definitely think that this should, be a little green flag in your corner for sure. So I guess being a trial, maybe you don't here. I'm kind of wondering, so everybody, had a little bit of a preferred hero. Did it feel like there was like a preferred composition? You guys played a lot of different comps kind of across these 4 maps. So was there one that it seemed that you guys were definitely more comfortable on than the others?
I think we were going to go for a lot of the RAM, but we just ended up mirroring a lot because we thought that we could do it really well. So it ended up like we wanted to go for the RAM a lot, but it ended up just mirroring with Arissa, Ram, and Monkey. So.
And I got one more question. This is entirely off topic. This has no relation to Overwatch at all. Who do you think would win in a fight between 100 gorillas and 1 T-Rex?
Obviously a T-Rex. I mean, that's not even a debate.
She is smart. I didn't bring this up on the cast at all up to this point, by the way. I just wanted to prove a point to some friends. She's smart. You get it. You get it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a lot of hands, but this is
It's a lot of teeth, though. It's a lot of teeth.
It's 9 tons of like bird reptile that can like take down 100 tons of bird reptile. That's like pretty good.
yeah, I mean, king of the dinosaurs for a reason, takes a lot to get up there.
It's like, I mean, I think it's a better question than 100 guys versus a gorilla, like at the very least.
I love that you've expanded on that.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I don't know if the stream could hear him, so I'll just try to repeat what he said. Do you have any shout outs that you want to put out there?
I just want to shout out my team, bro. I think we did like amazing. We actually worked together. Comms were very smooth, and the swaps are really good. Like, I just want to shout out my team because we really did amazing. I want to also shout out Stars because he wasn't able to be there, but that's our manager, and he's the GOAT. So.
Oh, you love to hear it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ray, for joining us. Congratulations again on the win. And yeah, hope that your trial goes well. Thank you so much for taking the time out to do an interview with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. You have a great evening.
You too.
It was a great match. It might have been a 4-0. Yeah. Might have been a 4-0, but it was getting a lot better as it went along, I have to say. Every map got closer and closer, I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much to Phoenix for showing up tonight and putting on a really great show. Unfortunate that they weren't out a map win, but like you said, Ty, it felt like the team improving as kind of those maps went on. Maybe if this was a best of 9, it would have had a different outcome.
Right. Oh, the 5 map reverse sweep was on the cards. It was happening. I could feel it.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
But so the announcements that we have received in the Discord, next month's tournaments will have the sign-up still open. July 12th to 13th will be the dates to look out for. So if you are looking for a tournament to play in, look out for that. Sign up for it. Overwatch is fun, even if you don't want to listen. They're open. Yep. I might have phrased that poorly. The tournament will be played on the 12th to 13th. The signups are currently open, so look to play on the 12th to 13th of July. Overwatch is fun. You don't necessarily want to be winning everything. You don't necessarily want to be the god gamer, but play with some friends. Try it out. Have some fun. Go to a tournament. Do some fun stuff. Enjoy yourself. And then also, I'm going to read this verbatim so then you don't think I'm crazy. Friendly reminder that subs and donuts go directly to the staff that's working as tips. And they deserve it. The staff here, and that I don't think that quite counts for us, but it does include us. I was just gonna glaze the guy who's producing and the guys who are observing, but yeah, I mean, I think I did a good job today. I think she did a great job today. I think the observers did a great job today. I think the producer does a great job. I think everybody here does a great job, and I think that if you find it in your heart, and I think if you have the ability to, I'm not trying to pressure or anything. Just saying. Just implying. I'm sorry. Do you have anything else you want to say, Ray?
No, thank you so much for having me here. I had a really great time. Forward to seeing all of the teams sign up for the July and August tournaments. It's just a small little commitment, just one weekend, and we could have some really great matches. We saw, like Ty said, this was a really series, and the more teams that we can kind of bring in, the better and higher quality level of gameplay that we're going to get to see here.
So thank you all for showing up to today's stream. I had a lot of fun. This was a great match. I really appreciate the viewership that we got today, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. Sending off.